Mountain biking is a whole lot of fun, but it can certainly be intimidating. So in this video, we put together a list of 5 essential skills that any beginner can practice anywhere to hit the trail safely and with confidence and have a whole lot of fun while you're at it. Welcome back to Joy of Bike. I'm Mike.
I'm Chase, and we're really stoked to help you get more comfortable on your bike. If by the end of this video you want to go more in depth on any one of these skills, we have full videos that do just that linked in the video description below.
The skills we're going to cover in this video are the foundation to having the most fun on your bike and building confidence while you're at it. Remember, the key to controlled speed is through practice. Take your time and let's get there safely.
If this is your first year mountain biking, cruise down and hit that like button. We are so stoked you're finding the joy.
Riding in a central riding position on our mountain bike is crucial to being comfortable and confident out on the trail. So what exactly does that mean? It's all about being in a neutral position on your bike with the majority of your weight over the bottom bracket. You want your arms and knees slightly bent with your hips hovering over your saddle. The beauty of this position is that it helps you react to the terrain that you're covering, whether you're climbing, descending, or cruising through a corner. Riding in this central position means our bike is going to move more naturally beneath us, allowing us to absorb bumps, adapt to terrain changes, and keep traction. We want to think about this stance as home base on the bike. From this position, we can easily move forward or backward as needed. For example, if we're descending, we can gently shift our weight backwards, or if we're climbing, we can shift our weight forward to keep traction and keep as much energy as we can pushed into the ground through that bottom bracket. A helpful tip to keep you centered on the bike is to check in on your foot position on the pedal. You want the ball of your foot in the center of your pedal or essentially on the spindle. So regardless of the terrain you're riding, a strong central riding position is vital. This is going to help you flow through trails and unlock that ultimate joyride.
Smooth braking it will revolutionize your riding. Knowing how to modulate your brakes to slow effectively without skidding will lead to so much more confidence and control when headed down the trail. And knowing how to brake efficiently and precisely will lead to far less fatigue. Use your pointer finger on the outside of the lever to modulate your brakes. Start with a 50-50 split between front and rear brake power. Your brakes can and should be modulated to smoothly transition between light and heavy braking. As your bike slows at different rates underneath you, you'll feel your body weight shift forward in response. To counter this, shift your weight just far enough back to feel that braking force in your feet. When you're out on the trail, look for good opportunities to be proactive with your braking. Brake before rock gardens, corners, drops, or jumps if you need to adjust your speed. Braking over these features doesn't let our bike do its job underneath us, and it can often lead to stiff riding, a loss in traction, or your front wheel getting hung up on a rock. Yikes.
When it comes to cornering, one of the most important pieces is looking at where we want to go. Although this may seem really simple, if we're focusing on obstacles like rocks or trees on the side of the trail, we're probably going to end up there. So let's start by looking towards the exit of the corner. Now let's talk about body position while we're cornering. There's a couple different types of corners we're going to discuss, starting with a flat turn. These flat turns require us to lean our bike and not our body. The key to keeping traction in these corners is dropping our outside foot and putting as much of our weight there as we can down through the bottom bracket. The action of leaning the bike and weighting the outside of it helps create traction when the corner isn't pushing back into us. But what happens when we ride, say, a berm? When it comes to riding berms or banked turns, we still want to stay in that central riding position. We want to lean with the bike, and our goal is to match the angle of the surface that's pushing back into us. We want to keep as much of our weight over that bottom bracket as possible as we push the bike through the corner. Most cases in these corners, we want to keep our pedals parallel to the ground so we don't get caught up in rocks or roots. Braking is a huge factor to consider when it comes to cornering. Heavily braking in a corner means that your suspension is going to be loading up, which means it's not going to be responding the way it should, often resulting in a loss of traction. Get the majority of your braking done before you get to the corner. which is going to allow you to flow through these corners a lot smoother. This approach will help you tackle any unexpected bumps or shifts in the trail. Your bike is very capable and it does not want to fall, so trust it.
All right, I got a question for you. Why can't the uphills be the best part of our ride? Sure, going downhill is great, but we may as well enjoy the time spent going up too, right? Well, here's some tips to make that a little bit easier. Pedal cadence is key. Spend some time pedaling around and finding a rhythm that isn't too slow and also isn't too fast. Now, this is slightly different for everyone, but it should feel productive and sustainable. Shift your gears according to this cadence. As the trail flattens out and you spin a little quicker, shift it to a harder gear to maintain this normal rhythm. As the trail gets steeper, do the opposite. Shift into an easier gear to maintain that cadence. Try to break the habit of looking at your front wheel while you're climbing. For one, it lets you look around at the scenery and appreciate your ride that much more. It's also key to knowing what's coming up ahead on the trail. If you have a steep or tricky section up ahead, you can take a moment to gather yourself or build momentum while on easier terrain. Looking ahead also helps you start to pick line choices and enter that technical section with a game plan. Now here's a secret that we don't hear too many people talking about. Walking your bike is okay. This sport is really hard and it's exhausting, and sometimes getting off and walking your bike up a tricky section is what you need to do. We do it all the time, and if somebody tells you that they never do it, I know they're lying to you. That being said, if you do get hung up on a section that you think is within your skill set, stop your ride and session it for a few goes. Give yourself 3 tries to see if you make it before moving on. You might surprise yourself.
And of course, we had to save the best for last. Let's talk about going downhill. Similar to climbing, an important piece of descending is also looking ahead. Looking ahead will help us identify obstacles on the trail, which allows us to adjust our speed and body position appropriately. The more we practice looking down the trail, the further ahead we'll be able to look, which allows us to be more prepared and ultimately travel down the trail smoother and faster. When we're descending, something we really want to focus on is keeping our pedals parallel to the ground. Not only is this going to help us with that smooth, sturdy, balanced riding position, but it's also going to make it so we're not striking pedals on rocks or roots, because let me tell you, that is not fun. As we're riding down the trail in that centered riding position, do your best to stay relaxed and loose. You want your arms to have a gentle bend as well as your legs. And what this is going to allow you to do is absorb the bumps or obstacles on the trail. Your arms and legs are your biggest source of suspension, so use them. And just like climbing, getting off your bike and walking through a section that looks too challenging for you is more than okay. Set your ego aside, trust your gut, and save yourself for another day. 9 times out of 10, you can come back to that section of trail when you're feeling more confident on your bike.
Now we've got a big pro tip for this video. Believe in yourself. Seriously. All of the other parts of the video are foundational skills and tips to get you riding, but the power of the mind cannot be overstated. Before trying a scary feature, take a second and visualize yourself getting through it. As you're riding up to it, tell yourself, I can do it. 9 times out of 10, mistakes happen when we're second guessing ourselves or not fully committing to a feature. And remember, your mind tells your body what to do, not the other way around. Confidence is key.
And to build on what Chase just said, believing in yourself is not only important when you're on your bike. This is a great life skill to adapt to everything else you're doing. The mountain bike or the bike in general is just such an incredible teacher. Lean into that, and what you're going to get out of it is going to be life-changing. But it doesn't stop there. In my experience, when you look good on the bike, you also ride good, which, lucky for you, we just dropped a ton of dope new t-shirts over on the Traction Coffee website with inspiring messages on the back. I'll put a link in the episode description down below, or you can scan the QR code right here and go pick one up for yourself. Check it out.
Whew, yeah, Mike's not wrong. When you look good, you ride good. So I'm gonna let my traction colors fly while we head into the joyride. If you're new around here, we like to end every video with a session displaying the skills that we talk about. So let's go. We are stoked that you're here and that you're getting into mountain biking. You're tapping into such a fun and supportive community, and it's such a fun way to explore your backyard or travel to new places. Be sure to subscribe to the channel because we have a ton of content coming your way.
I'm also curious what kind of bike you guys are riding. Full suspension, hardtail, what are you cruising around on? Let us know down in the comments below. If this video helped you, make sure you hit the like button. If you're more of an advanced rider and you think it could help somebody that's new to riding, share it with them. That's what this community is all about, lifting one another up. As always, thank you guys so much for riding with us. This was an absolute blast, and we'll catch you on the next one. Keep riding, Joy Riders.
Ooh. Before we get out of here, I just want to say that we have a ton of other awesome mountain bike content already on the channel. If you want to keep learning with us, click right here to learn how to hit drops. And if you're done learning for the day and just want to hang out, click here and join Mike for a rad mountain bike ride in Montana. We have new content dropping weekly, so be sure to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you don't miss it. Till next time, thank you guys for being here. We'll see you on the next Joyride.